And welcome back, once again, adventurers, to Let's Play Robotics Notes Elite. In the last episode, Kaito and Akio went to see Doc Fujita, the owner of the robotics clinic, in search of replacement parts for honorary prayers. Unfortunately, much like the online shopping, even low-cost items were fairly expensive, as Akio can attest, and unfortunately, the financial situation is less than stellar. Together, Kaito and Akio need roughly 12,000 yen, and that's 12,000 yen minimum. That's 12,000 yen just for the base replacement parts for honorary prayers, period. There's no way that that's going to be acquired in 2 weeks. But meanwhile, apparently we have business with Mizuka. After school, I swing by the Ire General Store. As soon as I step in, I gulp loudly. My hands have been sweating for a bit now, and my knees won't stop shaking. Am I nervous, or is this pure terror? Mizuka, who at this point senses my restless presence, folds the newspaper she'd been reading and sits upright.
やるのかい?
After giving her a nod, I look over at the steamer resting next to the register. The steamer with those 3 buns.
例のあれ、一つください。
The buns that Kaito absolutely, positively does not like.
毎度。
Mizuka grins and opens the steamer. She takes out a passion fruit bun from the top shelf. For those of you out there who don't know what passion fruit are, well, that's what the tips list is here to explain. A fruit native to the subtropical regions of the Americas. The fruit is about 5-6 centimeters in diameter and turns red when ripe. The fruit's flesh is only half ripe, so the most common way to eat it is to scoop out the pulp with a spoon and eat it along with the black seeds. Personally, I'm not a fan of passion fruit myself. Come on, Kaito. Pretend like you don't know they've been promoting this thing as new for at least 4 years now. Jesus, 4 years? It's a local delight, only available at this location. Sure sounds nice on paper, but reality is a cruel mistress. This little thing is lethal. Known by many as the Destroyer, it emerged from somewhere far worse than hell. Passion fruit in and of itself tastes pretty great, but as soon as it's a bun, hoo boy, something went horribly wrong. I hesitate to call it food. I heard that Mizuka's father is the man behind the monster, but did he ever taste test this thing? It tastes disgusting. The steaming thing Mizuka hands me smells ever so slightly sour. For reasons I can't explain, I tear up. Every time I eat one of these, my appetite gets annihilated for the rest of the day. Well, that's one way to kick hunger to the curb. It would be great for any girls on a diet. As for why I'm about to eat one of these culinary disasters, it's so I can collect some information. Information about what? Destroying your taste buds? This is a trade-off.
一気に行きな。
And you have to swallow it in one go. You can't even chew it.
いただきます。
I make peace with myself as I open my mouth wide and jam the thing in. Yeah, there are almost certainly going to be complications if that thing gets lodged in its throat as is. As long as it doesn't retch it out, I suppose. Well, actually that would be the best case scenario. The warm and slimy texture of the fruit pulp and the bun's grotesque appearance. The sour flavor that overwhelms the sweetness due to its warmth. A cacophony of flavor. The more I chew, the more tears and snot come flowing out from the holes on my face. At this point, I can barely breathe. Actually, I think I might be choking. Even so, I force the beast down. That's going to ruin your throat, not to mention your digestion. If I don't finish this thing, I won't get what I came here for. That's assuming that you even get it. Izuka watches my distorted face with her usual grin. She's definitely enjoying this. I can already feel the stomach acid working its way up to my throat. I somehow managed to hold it down, swallowing the mass in my mouth, which is a miracle in and of itself. Without wiping my tears, I grab a scarf from the beverage section. I guzzle it down without paying for it. Well, he survived. I silently place 200 yen on the register counter and take some time to recover from the hell I just experienced. Considering the fact that he roughly had about, I believe, 500, nearly 600 yen before, we're 200 yen down. Up until a few years ago, sodas used to cost 150 yen, but the economic recession hit hard. A tough price for a student. I'd have died if I hadn't drank that just now, though. The sad part is that probably would have happened.
もっとうまそうに食えっていつも言ってんでしょ?
Yeah, if you can even consider this delicious. Actually impossible.
ま、いいさ。湖協定成立だ。
I agreed to no such terms, and I don't think Kaito did either. Oh wait. Never mind. This is a special agreement that Mizuko and I have between us. As you can imagine, it was named after the horrific terms that I have to uphold in order to get info. Mizuko is basically my info broker. She's socially savvy and works here every day, so she gets to casually chat with faculty and students alike. Since she has all sorts of connections across the island, her giant social circle means she's well informed. Well, to be fair, it is a fairly large island, so... And so Mizuka secretly provides me with info she gets her hands on. It was originally Mizuka who proposed that I eat one entire passion fruit bun in exchange for info, obviously. The locals God damn it, why am I having trouble with this? The locals all know how awful it is. So nobody dares drop any cash on them. Its poisonous aura alone keeps tourists away. And yet, Mizuka's dad still stocks them every single day. It's apparently hard for her to get rid of them.
欲しい情報いいな。何が知りたい？秋の3サイズ？
The info we need to know, Mizuki.
どうせ貧相なサイズだろうし、どうでもいいよ。知りたいのは
A wave of nausea washes over me. I hold it down, take a deep breath, and try to calm myself. There's still an awful burning sensation in my throat. Normal passion fruit shouldn't be this deadly. You're telling me. What the hell did they put in this thing?
知りたいのはロボクリニックのロボドクターのこと。
ああ、あの頑固じいさんか。それなら秋の方が詳しいんじゃない？
毒の弱みとかそういうのが知りたいんだよね。パーツ代を思わず値下げしちゃいたくなるようなそういう弱み。
Something tells me there's going to be a very heavy asking price. Perhaps in the form of yet another passion fruit bun. Mizuka-san slaps her knee in amusement.
あのじいさんを脅して商品を値切ろって？そりゃ傑作だ。大した度胸じゃないか。
Yeah. Take it from me, Kaito, but blackmailing the doc is almost certain guaranteed certain death. Much like devouring another one of those diabolical buns.
また秋のために一肌脱ぐわけだ。
Sharp as a tack. She's just as tricky to deal with as Mizune.
そんな大層なものじゃないよ。でもまあ、何事もスムーズに進んだ方が自分に降りかかる火の粉も少なくなるでしょ。
It's not like I'm doing this to make Akio happy or anything like that. I'm doing it for my own sake.
なんていうか、俺信頼してないんだよね。瀬宮明穂って人間を。つまりそういうこと。
貝が秋の何なのかわからなくなってきて。
Have you tried talking with Misaki, their Musica? Don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like Akio. I really think we're of one embody and soul. When I say I don't have faith in her, I mean that she's unreliable. Plus,
秋のことよろしくね。
a long time ago, I was tasked with this mission. All I'm doing is fulfilling the promise I made that day. A promise given by none other than Misaki herself.
もしかしたら 保護者のつもりなのかも、俺。
before she went off to become an executive in Tokyo.
アキちゃんにとってのミサ姉の代わりみたいな。
やっぱけなげだわ、あんたって。アキに対してもミサに対してもね。
Yeah, and all other qualities, Kaito, you're probably less than admirable. Mizuka lightly punches my upper arm. She's snickering in amusement. Of course she is.
情報はいつ頃もらえる？
手に入ったら連絡する。なるはや。だろ？
Well, in all fairness, Kaito did fulfill his end of the bargain.
よろしく。
So now we wait. I suppress my gag reflex and exit the store. Gonna need another skull for that one. Lunch break the next day. I'm on my way back to the classroom after a quick bathroom break when my tablet starts to ring.
電話、受信。
It's from Mizuka.
もしもし。
湖協定の件だけど。
水香さんか。何か分かった？
ああ、突き止めたよ。孫がいる。
The dog has a granddaughter.
孫？へえ、そうなんだ。そういえば毒の家族って謎だったけど。
カイやアキと同学年みたいだけど。3年1組空手部の大徳純奈。知ってるかい？
Huh. That is interesting news. Apparently Juna Daitoko, the rather awkward girl we met practicing karate, is in fact the doc's granddaughter.
マジ？去年クラスメートだったんだよね。この前もちょっと話した。
その子の母方の祖父があのじいさんだし。おじいちゃんってのは孫のお願いには弱いもんさ。あとはわかるな。
You make it sound easy, Mizuka, but when it comes to the dog, I think blackmailing him in this fashion isn't necessarily going to be the brightest choice that we've made.
しっかりやんな。
And apparently that's all the information she has. That's Mizuka for you. Only took her one day to find something. The trip through passion fruit hell was worth it. So she's his granddaughter. So basically we gotta get Juna Daitoko to ask her gramps to hand over the parts for free. Well, I mean, Fujita might dote on his granddaughter, but there is a line in the sand, Kaito. Would Doc ever say yes to such an insane request, granddaughter or not? I can't even imagine this playing out so simply, or at least we're on the same wavelength. This might just end up biting us in the arse. If we play our cards right, however, we might be able to get that discount. But a discount is the best case scenario. He's not going to give us the parts for free. We're going to have to pay up some yen. He's hard-headed, so it's likely he'll get upset and say, "How dare you use my Juna-chan?" And bam, banned. Either way, I should fill Akio in. What she does with the info is out of my hands. My role is merely to show her the path. Whether she walks that path or not is entirely up to her. Now there is a very, very iconic reference. Slightly altered, but a very iconic reference nonetheless. I'll leave it to you to figure it out.
これは運命だね。
It really isn't. Akio is eating lunch alone when I deliver the news to her. She immediately jumps up from her chair.
まさかそんなつながりがあったなんて。
A small world. Huh? It truly is a small world after all. I won't sing that, of course.
これで少なくとも3割引きは期待できるかも。
It'd be a miracle if we could actually pull off 30%. Although we're not an easy street yet.
うまくやれば半額。ただってことも。
Yeah, Akio, remember your lesson with the vice principal and the student council? Yeah, if we push him too far, he'll break us. And then we'll be, yeah, worse than broke. The president is a lost cause. She's off in her own delusions where things could never possibly go south.
でもカイ、なんでそんなすごい情報を知ってるの？
Are you sure you want to know the answer to that question?
風の噂を耳に挟んだんだよ。
へえ、全然知らなかった。ドクター大徳さんじゃ名前も全然違うし。
Well, Jenna's mother would have almost certainly changed her name when she married.
とにかくこれは突撃あるのみだね。
Indeed, and speaking of which, we need to figure out how to pay for a brand new charger in 3 days. Well, actually, on that thought, Akio's monthly allowance is 3,000 yen. And depending on how much Kaito's is, that might be enough to acquire the charger. Unfortunately, it's possible that Kaito and Akio have already acquired their allowances and already spent their money, in which case it's going to be a very miserable 3 days. Akio swiftly closed the lid on her. Akio swiftly closes the lid on her half-eaten lunch and heads to Toko-san's classroom next door. And we're back with Akio. Junior Daitoko is in class 3-1, the one next to mine. I stealthily peek into the classroom. Daitoko-san was one of my classmates when we were second year, so I know what she looks like. She's short, baby-faced, and looks like a middle school boy on account of the haircut. She's in the karate club, but she's the only member in the entire school. How the hell can they have a club with only one member? Daitoko-san's family runs a karate dojo. If I recall correctly, she's been a martial artist since she was little. But due to regulations set by Inter-High and National, she can't enter any competitions solo. I'm not actually sure that she doesn't mind, given the fact of when we last saw her, she was quite happily practicing by herself. So I guess the school made this club on paper so that she can compete, but she's still the only member. I hear this type of workaround actually happens in other minor sports too, so her situation isn't all that uncommon. Anyway, that same Daitoko-san is in the middle of chatting with her friends by the window.
Daitoko-san!
When I call out to her, she gives me a fairly surprised look. Undeterred, I smiled and waved her over in a friendly manner. Eventually, she shuffles over hesitantly.
私かな。さあさあ、うちのこと覚えてる？瀬宮さん。
Correct.
覚えててくれた。ありがとう。
I grabbed Daitoko-san's hands out of pure joy. Hands are smaller than mine, almost like a child's. Even though she's a girl like me, my heart skips a beat at how adorable she is. I can't believe she knows karate.
実はね、大徳さんにちょっと頼みたいことがあって。
Yeah. Now here comes stage 1.
何かな？私にできることだといいんだけど。ロボクリニックのドク、藤田さんのこと知ってるよね？え
Daitoko-san's expression freezes, or at least that's what it looks like.
親戚でしょ？あれ、違った？
Maybe the fact that Jina is Fujita's granddaughter isn't entirely public knowledge. After a moment's hesitation, Daitoko-san slowly begins to speak.
親戚だけど。
She doesn't look too happy.
だよね。間違いじゃなくてよかった。それって藤田のおじいちゃんに聞いたの？
Not exactly.
風の噂で。風の噂で、大徳さんに頼みたいことっていうのは、特に身内価格でパーツの値段を負けてくれるようにお願いしてくれないかなって。
And like that, she's charging out of the gate. Although, in all fairness, Akio is asking her request fairly politely. Whether or not that request will gain any traction hinges on a lot of assumptions.
身内価格？ 身内のよしみみたいなものってあるでしょ。大徳さんが頼めばきっとドクもコロッと OK すると思うんだ。
You know, I think things would go a lot smoother, Akio, if you just told Jenna what exactly we need the family discount for.
お願い、この通りロボ部を助けると思って。
Well, lo and behold, Akio came out and said it.
ちょっと待って。
Yeah, there's always a catch, especially when it comes to family discounts. When I put my hands together in prayer, Togo-san grabs my arm, flustered. She takes me to a less crowded hallway.
急にそんなこと言われても困るよ。
Yeah, truthfully, it is all completely out of the blue.
おじいちゃんに頼むだけでいいの。ダメ元のお願いだから値引きできなかったら諦めるし。
Looks like Akio's learned the lesson from Doc Fujita after all.
でもロボ部がピンチなんだ。ドクにパーツ代を払えないと部がなくなっちゃうの。だからお願い、スコール1本おごるから。そんな、頭上げて、瀬宮さん。じゃあ引き受けて。
I have a feeling in my bones that this isn't going to go entirely well for us. Juna fidgets like she wants to say something. I know I should keep calling her Daitoko-san, but it's actually getting really difficult for me. So
何？
I'm just gonna keep referring to her as Juna.
無理かも。
Fujita might dote on his granddaughter, but he is still the stern taskmaster. Can't say I was expecting that. I don't think it's necessarily that Juno dislikes her grandfather.
大徳さんの親戚のおじいちゃんに会いに行ってちょっと話してもらうだけなんだけど。
There seems to be something else behind Jenna's reluctance to help us. Jenna vigorously shakes her head back and forth.
私できない。もしかして毒が怖いの？
Maybe, yeah, maybe she's intimidated by him. Well, there's no maybe about it. She clearly is intimidated by him after all. Are you telling me his own granddaughter is scared of him? That's exactly what she's telling you. I mean, Doc is the stereotypically stubborn craftsman type. And his taste in music make him seem like a punk. More like a rocker, really. Just I think I can understand why Jenna is frightened. Sorry, Juno is frightened by him.
私、もう何年も藤田のおじいちゃんとは話してなくて。
She hasn't talked to him in that long.
だったらこれを機会に仲直りしちゃえばいいんだよ。
As enthusiastic as that sounds, family reunions aren't always that easy.
別にいいかなって。なんで？仲直りしたいんだよね。
Most people would want to patch things up in a situation like this. But it seems like I'm way off the mark here. Juna hangs her head low, as if she's uncomfortable.
今は大会前だからあんまり集中乱したくなくて。 とにかくごめんなさい。
Well, we tried.
あと今の私の話、藤田のおじいちゃんには言わないでね。大徳さん、うちの話を聞いて。
When I try to stop Juna from returning to her classroom, someone's hand lightly pushes me away.
ちょっと瀬宮、純奈をつけ回すのやめなよ。怯えてるじゃん。
Thanks for telling us, easily annoyed one.
そうだそうだ。ダメダメロボ部と関わったりなんかしたらろくなことにならなさそう。
They're the two girls who were chatting with Juno earlier. They position themselves like they're guarding her.
純奈は次の週末に国体予選があるんだから、邪魔したら私らが許さないよ。
瀬宮さんはヤシオくんとイチャイチャしてなよ。
キスしたいなら俺とゲームで勝負しなよ。みたいな。
別に大徳さんをいじめようとかそんなつもりじゃないよ。待ってみんな。
Juno intervenes despite the tense situation. And with tears in her eyes, she looks my way.
ごめんね、瀬宮さん。私、瀬宮さんの頼み聞いてあげられないの。だから本当にごめんなさい。
ああ、瀬宮、純奈のこと泣かした。
ひどー。瀬宮さんひどいんだ。
Exactly how are you friends with these two? Oh wait. I think I see why. How can I not back down after that? I seriously didn't think she'd cry. Even though I didn't do anything, I feel really guilty. Well, that plan was a bust. Then... No, I've already done that joke. I'm not doing it again. Once is enough. Anyway, tips. Nationals refers to the National Sports Festival of Japan. Every year the competitive sporting event hosts ice skating and hockey in January, skiing in February, and track meets from September to October. One must be a third year of middle school or above to enter. The competitors are split into three groups: adults, Youth A, second and third years in high school, and Youth B, third year of middle school or first years in high school. Doesn't really say anything about karate. Anyway, Inter-High, short for the Inter-High School Championships. It is also known as the Inter-High School Sports Festival or the Interscholastic Athletic Meet. A massive sporting event held between multiple schools that have been hosted in a rotation of different prefectures every August since 1966. And with those tips now learned, I think we're going to call it a day. So when we return, adventurers, we shall see how we can get things moving with Doc Fujita. But my money's on not very easily. As always, until next we meet.